Welcome back. Let's take a look at what the dailies are saying. Anti-Tinubu is a lawyer, legal practitioner, joining us to give his insights on the issues. But there's a particular issue that is literally all over the pages today. Let's begin with the Abuja Inquirer. PDP crisis deepens as Wike declares all-out war. Fingers Makinde Mba vows to fight on. So this is getting dirtier. They are supposed to have their neck meeting tomorrow. As we speak, we're not sure what is going to happen. Because according to a statement released by Nyesom Wike, Mr. Kemini, it's to the effect that there were certain agreements that will build up a reconciliation, including withdrawing court cases and a plethora of issues. He said, well, they have reneged on those agreements by even going ahead to recognize someone else besides Samayan, which is one of the bone of contention. So he's pulling out of all agreement, and his words he's going to fight on. I don't know what that means. Mr. Kemini, what do you make of it?
Well, thank you for having me. I have read the press release by His Excellency Nyesom Wike, the Honorable Minister of the FCT. My take on this is that the PDP needs to be careful. PDP really needs to be very careful so as not to see itself in a position that it might not be able to present candidates for the next election. But the press release by Nyesom Wike, not so much, I mean, what I have seen there is not so much for PDP to handle as a party. I think His Excellency Nyesom Wike is basically not happy with the fact that some persons in the party have refused to give recognition to Senator Samanyao. And it's something that the PDP can sit back. You know, sometimes you don't like the face of a person. But at this point, what can PDP do? I mean, it has gone up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has said, this is the man that is to serve as the secretary of the PDP. This is the man to sign documents for the PDP. If I were to be the leadership of the PDP, I would have simply accepted this man. Like I said, sometimes you don't like the face of a person. But once the court have said, go this way, then you just have to follow that way. Remember, this is not Court of Appeal, this is the Supreme Court, and from here, no appeal lies to any other place. And so when you look at that press release by His Excellency, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, a summary of it is just that he is not comfortable with the fact that some persons in the political party have not given recognition to Samanyao, and he has accused Governor Makinde of orchestrating the refusal to give recognition to Samanyao. And I am saying that at this point, the PDP needs to be careful. You remember what happened in Zamfara State, where the House of Assembly and most of the persons that were elected were removed at the Supreme Court because of the fact that what was supposed to be done by a particular person, what was supposed to be signed by a particular person, was not signed by that person. It is at this point that I think that PDP should hold itself together. The leaders of the PDP, the stakeholders of the PDP, those that have been in the party from 1999 and are still there till today, those are stakeholders and all that, they should come together, have a meeting with the minister. In fact, just give recognition to this Samanyao. What is it? Samanyao is not going to liquidate the party. I'm sure of that. I'm sure he's also interested in having the interest of the party at heart. And therefore, why not work with him and then allow the smooth running of the party to be? Because at this point, the PDP seems to have no other option than to work with him in view of the fact that the Supreme Court has made a pronouncement on this. And from what I have read, this seems to be the major problem of His Excellency Nyesom Wike when he says he's going to fight for justice, when he says he's going to withdraw from further reconciliation. But if he's, I would say, as a party man, you don't need to withdraw from reconciliation. Reconciliation is very important for the health of a political party. PDP has had the worst of times. Remember the Modu Sheriff time and Shinkafi. It was even more turbulent than this. And the party was able to, conquer that, put that together, and then move to the next stage. And I expect the same thing to be done. And for His Excellency Nyesom Wike, please, sir, do not say that you are not going to be part of the reconciliation moves anymore in your political party. That doesn't sound like a statement from a good party man. A good party man should be interested in reconciliation, in putting things back together in his political party so that his political party can move forward. And I know You give it to Nyesom Wike. He has done so much for this political party. He has spoken vociferously on issues about this political party, and I expect him to continue that way.
All right. Let's take a look at Vanguard newspaper now, Mr. Odim. Take a look at the headline. Anti-Tinubu coalition, Atiku, Obi, others shop for platform. And there are a host of riders there. We'll take maybe a few. Jigawa delegates disrupt coalition meeting. Will conclude talks in 2 weeks. Onwosu, ADC chairman. We're considering SDP for new party. And lastly, Nigeria's problems can be solved from the north. That's ascribed to Peter Obi. So many things to reflect on there, Mr. Odim. And of course, there are reports that former River State Governor and former Minister of Transportation, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, was at that coalition, Anti-Tinubu coalition meeting. So what is most significant for you from this coalition? That Jigawa delegates disrupted the meeting, or that this coalition is taking off on a shaky ground and may never head anywhere significant?
No, what is most significant for me about this coalition is the fact that Nigerian citizens have understood the benefit of coming together. It's like the broom. When you bring everything together in a bundle, it sweeps better. And I'm very excited about the fact that politicians have come to this realization that you need to come together to be able to contest the next election with the APC that is sweeping everywhere. Some governors have, a governor has already defected, the governor of Delta State. The governor of my state has already given clear indication that he is defecting, and you never can tell who else is defecting. And for that purpose, for that reason, there is need to have coalition of the various political parties in the country. We have so many political parties, some of them cannot really boast of presence in many places in the country. And therefore, the best thing is for them to come together like this, which is very commendable. The disruption of the meeting in Jigawa is rather unfortunate. I do not know why the disruption took place in the first place, but it's rather unfortunate. But that should not discourage those that are thinking about coalition. It should not discourage them. So what you need to do is, in your next meeting, ensure that there is adequate security in place. Ensure that if somebody lifts his hand for him to be given an opportunity to say something, allow him to say his mind. Allow him to say it irrespective of how it sounds. And then you get to the next person, so that we don't have the coalition being disrupted. But I must tell you that it is good for Nigeria for parties to come together. And when they come together, everybody should not think of being president, because everybody cannot be president. Let all the political gladiators in the coalition movement understand this fact, and let them come together and be able to choose a candidate that will sell. Everybody, when you say I cannot step down, I cannot be deputy, I cannot be at the back end, and so on, you are also destroying the coalition movement. Get a candidate and then support him.
Thank you so much for coming on the program. There's a lot more to explore, but for want of time, apparently, Wike is as much of a solution to the crisis as it is, because he is also a problem. So the PDP must find an ingenious way to solve that riddle. In your submission, you said we're going to have time to explore all of this in the future, but everybody can see the telltale signs of what can be done, and what, if it is not done, could cause problem for all of them. Everybody, this interest wrangling is, as a matter of fact, democracy is not safe without a viable opposition. That's what we keep preaching. Kevin Odim, thank you, legal practitioner joining us from Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.